start by saying that it's hard to win in the SEC. That was evident today. Look, I could go through a laundry list of things that we have to do better, but the fact of the matter is our guys wanted to win. They were prepared to win. They were prepared to play a team that was coming off a disappointing loss, and we knew that they were going to play hard today, and they did. It's a well-coached football team. Coach Pittman does a great job. I thought Barry Odom was called a great game defensively. Their team was prepared, and they were a great challenge for us today. But we found a way to win on the road, and that's really what this is about in terms of when you play in a league like this, and in particular the SEC West, find a way to win. And that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of our guys having the mental toughness to battle and find a way to win a football game when we were challenged the way we were today. So, that's kind of my takeaway. I'm not sitting here disappointed. I am excited that we won the football game in a very difficult environment where a team was coming off, and our guys knew that. We're in a different realm now. We're being hunted, and we're going to get everybody's best shot, and they understand that. So we got some things to work on, and we'll enjoy this victory, and we'll come back prepared for UAB at senior night. So with that, we'll get you guys questions.
Obviously, Harold Perkins, big day. I mean, you talk about how you keep him in simple roles, but I mean, what does that say about how special he is in that role?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's 8 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, all over the field, impacted the game, obviously, to the level where, we win the game because of his final play, too. Multi-dimensional player. Makes a great play in pass coverage, getting under, a throw late in the game. I don't think there's enough superlatives to talk about this young man as a true freshman coming into his own. You can imagine he was awarded the game ball, but yeah, he's he got sick before the game. I threw up as we were going into our team meeting, and I said, hey, MJ threw up when he had his greatest game, and he said, who's MJ? I was like, man, I am getting so old. But, yeah, he's pretty special.
What kind of sick was he?
It flew. Yeah, no problem. 4 sacks.
Koki, you have a question?
Yeah. With Jane Daniels in that passing attack, what were some of the issues that Barry Odom's defense was sort of creating for you guys there?
Yeah, a lot of multiple looks. He was hesitant. He just didn't have that aggressiveness that he needed, and he wasn't sure at some of the things. So that's we got to do a better job coaching him, and he's got to be more assertive. And they did a lot of things defensively that I thought were really good. 2 or 3 times we had wide open receivers. We run play action bang routes, and we draw the backers up inside, and they rally back out and get a hand on it, knock down some short touchdown passes. They played really well. So we've got to get better at coaching the position, and they did a really good job defensively.
All season you've kind of been saying that Harold Perkins has these points of growth that we haven't seen. So what areas have you seen him grow to have a game like this?
I think his ability to drop in coverage, we saw that today, being in the right place, and gap responsibility. There were times earlier in the year where he would just cut a gap loose, and you'd have some big runs. He's so much more gap conscious in terms of making sure that he's fitting the plays the right way. Sometimes he'd run around things, be in the wrong gap. Just, that trust factor is really big now.
Brad?
Fine. To win a game like this, you've come so far, and it looks like, well, everything's just going to work out for you, but it kind of illustrates your team is still growing, right? I mean,
oh yeah, but it's look, you still have to find ways to make plays and win these games at the end. And look, we're far from a finished product. I don't think anybody's in there feeling like we've arrived. We've got a lot of work to do, but during this journey, we're still finding ways to win football games. And I think I said this from the very beginning. The goal coming into this year was to be better in November and to play hard and to teach this team how to win. Those were really, if you go back to my very first press conference, those were the tenets that I wanted to instill in this team. And those are there. They know how to win football games. And that's a great trait to have. They believe they're going to win, and they find a way to win. And this is a perfect example of that.
Brian?
Josh Williams, 122 yards.
Yeah.
Over 6 yards to carry. Any superlatives for him?
Just a tough, physical. You talk about, if you look up strain in the dictionary, I mean, he's the guy. He just strains for everything and just has just a great effect on everybody when he's out there. Got a little banged up. We had to take him out, but he should be okay. But just, he was a game day captain again for like the third or fourth time. He just is he's a big influence on our team.
Coach, it sounds like Sam Pittman told the Arkansas media that he knew KJ Jefferson wouldn't be able to play Thursday afternoon. I guess how soon did you know, and maybe how did that affect your game plan defensively?
Yeah, we still have to prepare for the offensive structure of a quarterback that could run it and throw it. So it didn't really affect it that much. We kind of had to prepare as if he was playing, and then if the backup played, we were ready. I thought the walk-on, is it Fortin? I thought he did really well coming in. He threw a great ball down the sideline. I thought he gave him some great energy, throwing the football. Forced us, matter of fact, to do some things that maybe we didn't practice as much as some of the other things. So he was a catalyst for him.
And then you touched on the Razorback defense earlier. What specifically did you see from the pass rush that made them so effective with the second half?
Well, we ran into quite a few of them. They did a really good job of staying on the edge. They did not want Jaden outside the pocket. We should have been stepping up in the pocket a lot more. We tried to get outside. They were not going to let us outside. They stayed on the edges. There were no four techniques. These guys stayed in fives, stayed to the level of the quarterback. I thought that they were well coached in terms of what they were trying to accomplish. I thought they did a really good job.
Coach, the two early turnovers that Jaden had, do you think that kind of affected him moving forward? And after the Auburn game, you said we can't win with 85 yards passing. You're at 86 today. Did you just think it was just kind of an outlier? That's just how today went?
Yeah, I mean, we've thrown for 400, right? Yeah. I think the ability to run the football, you've got to be able to run the football and set up at least some kind of offensive structure. And we played so well defensively. Yeah, look, it's not something that we want to make a living at, Jock. But I think that there have been some circumstances versus some of the teams that we've played. It's allowed us to play the game that way. The turnovers, I think we got to do a better job. I mean, both of them were off of zone reads, and one of them was a throw, and one of them was a pull. We just got to do a better job, and I'll put that on coaching. That we've got to do a better job of spending more time on some of those what I would call conflict reads.
Matt?
Coach, 7 sacks today. I mean, can you just chalk it up to a good defensive play call game or just a bad game for the offensive line?
No, look, sacks are overrated when they come to offensive lines issues. Sometimes it's as I mentioned, the quarterback causes sacks. Sometimes it's the back. That's not fitting. when you break it all down, you don't want your quarterback sacked at all. Like I said, I think they did a really good job of bringing pressures, and I think we probably needed to do a better job overall in pass protection. I'm not giving the offensive line a pass here, but anytime you're talking about sacks, you should look at everybody, including the coaching of it. We all are responsible for that.
Our coach has time for 2 more right here, and then Wilson.
You had a couple transfers from up here that played a lot of football.
Yeah.
What kind of contributors have they been for you this year?
Well, I would say first and foremost, they fit in really well in terms of the culture. They were in a really good program here at Arkansas where they do the right things. They came in and were good models for doing things the right way. So they really helped me early on in making sure we had guys doing things the right way. So Joe and Greg were outstanding in that respect. As football players, they're good players, and they've contributed. But I would say that their contributions were as important off the field as they were on the field.
Wilson.
Ryan, you were pretty aggressive on 4th down tonight, or this afternoon, I guess, particularly deep in your own territory a few times. Just what was the thought process behind those moments and when you go for those spots?
Well, I think I use analytics, in making some of those calls. But today, for example, I punted on 4th and 1 late in the game. I think it was about 2 minutes or so left in the game. That was a go, analytically, to go for that. I chose not to. They were out of timeouts. I thought that we were playing better defense than we were offense. Felt like it was the wise thing. We had a bad snap and a poor kick resulted. We got a good break. The ball stayed in bounds. We got decent field position, got the subsequent turnover. So it ended up being the right decision. So sometimes it's a gut feeling, and sometimes I use analytics to make those decisions.